Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike Fasula.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sony's Global Imaging Press Conference. I'm very excited to be here with all of you today on a number of fronts. First, this is the very first time that we're making announcements on a global basis from our new corporate headquarters right here at 25 Madison, New York City, so that's very exciting. We are also streaming this conference worldwide at alphauniverse.com/live. Let me say that again, alphauniverse.com/live. And for those of you that are here in the building with us, hopefully when you walked in at the street level, you witnessed the Sony Square showroom. Well, overnight, we have transformed that showroom so that once we finish the press conference, we can share with all of you in an experiential way and the public our great announcements that we're going to make today. And I'll also say that the Sony Square really embodies the brand vision of Sony Corporation and what we call Kondo. Now, what also expresses Kondo is when we introduce new world's first features in new world's first products. And today, ladies and gentlemen, that is precisely what we're going to do. But before we get too deep in the unveiling, I want to remind everybody that our imaging group recently did have a test of Mother Nature, and under the very strong leadership of Shigeki Ishizuka and Kimio Maki, I'm pleased to report that we've come out of that test with more strength and resilience, and we will continue to push the boundaries of innovation. And speaking about innovation, we have two products to announce to you today. And to announce the first product, it's my pleasure to introduce the global head of the Digital Still Imaging Group, Tom Hamaguchi. Hamaguchi-san.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, Europe, through live streaming. I am Tsutomu Hamaguchi. Thank you very much for attending this event today by managing your very busy schedule. I am the General Manager, Digital Imaging Group, Imaging Products and Solution Sector, Sony Corporation, Tokyo. Imaging Products and Solution Sector handles the digital products for both professionals and consumers, including professional video camera. And Digital Imaging Group covers digital products, consumer products, such as interchangeable lens camera, interchangeable lenses, digital still camera, camcorder, and its peripherals. I am heading business unit of fixed lens DSC. First of all, let's take a look at the environment of global digital imaging industry. The chart A shows that the worldwide yearly sales trend in amount, including still and video cameras. As you see in chart B, the Sony interchangeable lens cameras have achieved steady growth in spite of overall interchangeable lens camera, ILC cameras shows that continued decline. In chart C, Sony Premium Compact DSC shows higher growth, while entire DSC market shows rapid decrease. Customers' demographic of interchangeable lens camera and premium compact DSCs are evolving and the ratio of enthusiast segment is expanding. Along with this trend, the customer requirement for higher level features is becoming more important. Photographers are demanding that features that can respond to their increased passion for creativity and expression, especially resolution, sensitivity, and speed. So for us to meet those customers' requirements, we are announcing new products today. Let me start. First product, new RX. Since first RX100 is introduced in 2012, RX100 series continued the evolution, offering new imaging experience with new innovative technologies. Last year, we introduced RX100 Mark IV, offering new imaging experience with newly developed 1-inch stacked CMOS image sensor. By this technology, the 1/32,000 second high-speed anti-distortion shutter and up to 960 or 1,000 frames per second super slow motion is realized. The RX100 series received a lot of photographic awards all over the world. We thank all of you for your continuous support and recognition of RX100 series. Let's look at the chart indicating customer trend of RX100 series. Among RX100 owners, customers, the portion of interchangeable lens camera owners continued increase. And actually, more than half of them owned full-frame cameras. And according to the feedback from them, that they value and appreciate compact size and lightweight that allows them to carry wherever they go, particularly when they cannot carry their bigger and heavier interchangeable lens camera. And we are very much glad to hear that they are satisfied with the picture quality of RX100 as well. So Sony never compromised to realize high picture quality in compact size. Besides, we are trying to further enhance this RX100 series. This is our commitment. Interchangeable lens camera owners, including professional and enthusiasts, require speed performance to capture precious moments in variety of their shooting occasion. And to meet such demand requirement, now we are offering new RX100 series with professional level autofocus performance. So for you to understand the outline of this product, let me show that the video. So ladies and gentlemen, so this is 5th generation of RX100 series. RX100 Mark 5. Then let me demonstrate how great, how fast this 24 frames per second continuous shooting is. Thank you very much. Thank you. So in addition to that 1-inch stacked CMOS image sensor, which we developed last year, that we actually newly incorporated that phase detection autofocus technology onto that device. With this new technology, the RX100 Mark V achieves the high-speed performance. 0.0 second world fastest autofocus speed, 315 world highest number of autofocus points, and world fastest 24 frames per second continuous burst shooting with autofocus and auto exposure. Besides that, this fast hybrid autofocus performance technology is applicable with movie shooting, including 4K recording. And all those advanced values are packed into this tiny, compact, as small as previous RX100 series. RX100 Mark V, eyes uncompromised with professional level autofocus performance. Now, I'd like to hand over Professor Mark Weir to explain more detail how great this product is. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Hamaguchi-san, for that inspiring introduction. So my job is to give you some brief insights into the technology that makes RX100 Mark V possible. I think Hamaguchi-san explained all of its merits and our design purpose behind the product. But again, our purpose with this camera is to meet the requirements and exceed the requirements of enthusiast and professional photographers who want a camera that delivers all of the performance that they expect in a camera that fits in your shirt pocket. And that's really the story of RX100 series overall, and the furthest extension of it so far with RX100 Mark V. So the focusing system is really the heart of the camera and what's new. We've developed a new image sensor. It uses the same 1-inch die size and the stacked CMOS design capability that we've introduced previously, but with one significant improvement and advance, and that is on-sensor phase detection. One of the great challenges of compact fixed lens cameras is their reliance on contrast autofocus for focusing. And this can't really match the performance that you get out of a dedicated phase AF sensor in an SLR that can provide amazing tracking capability and also amazing AF lock speed. Well, we've overcome that limitation with this new image sensor. On-sensor phase detect AF points, 315 of them, covering 65% of the frame, providing the autofocus performance that professionals are used to in cameras many, many times the size. Not only the focusing accuracy, but also the lock speed of just 5/100ths of a second, and also the tracking, the subject tracking capability not only across the frame, but for subjects moving towards the camera or away from the camera, really is unmatched in any compact fixed lens camera. So we really put a tremendous breakthrough into RX100 Mark V with this new image sensor and the focusing system that it provides. A lot of the data is driven through the front-end LSI that's been added to RX100 Mark V to make this focusing possible and to deliver the AF lock speed that has been realized. But in addition to the focusing system, the AF lock speed driven by the LSI also has other benefits as well. So imagine a focus array of points, 315, that can cover almost the entire frame, 2/3 of the entire frame, and lock speed of just 5/100ths of a second in a camera that fits in your pocket, even in your shirt pocket. And that's really what we've accomplished with RX100 Mark V. We think you'll find it's truly amazing. And again, Hamaguchi-san spoke to the idea of speed performance. Performance and speed is what these photographers require. And we've provided it not only in the AF capability, but also in the continuous shooting capability. Imagine a camera that can capture 20 megapixel frames at 24 frames per second. Well, we've accomplished that with RX100 Mark V, and not only the ability to shoot very rapidly for brief bursts, it can continue at that frame rate and at that resolution for over 6 seconds. The ability to capture the decisive moment, which is so important to professional sports photographers, wildlife photographers, event photographers, again, is captured in this camera with this capability. The ability to capture the decisive moment, just the right moment, is something that we were really pursuing with RX100 Mark V. Even think of, say, a professional video camera shooting 4K at 24p. That's only 8 megapixel frames at 24 frames per second. Imagine what you could do with 20 megapixel frames at 24 frames per second. It's pretty amazing. And keep in mind, it can do this frame rate not just in JPEG, but with JPEG and RAW as well. It's pretty impressive. It gives you a whole new outlook on capturing the moment. On top of that, of course, there's video. Our RX cameras are known for their 4K capture capability. And when we capture 4K with RX, it's very important that due to the speed of the image sensor, we can capture this with no line skipping, no pixel binning. With direct pixel readout, we can capture almost twice as much data as what's required for a 4K frame, and then use oversampling to deliver video of astonishing clarity and depth. But now, this 4K video capability has been added to with the strength of the focusing system. Because again, you're probably not going to be pulling focus while shooting 4K video with a pocket-sized camera. Imagine a focusing system that can keep up to deliver the razor-sharp accuracy required by 4K video continuously as subjects move across the frame with exceptional tracking. That's what RX100 Mark V can do. Not just 4K, but 4K with exceptional autofocus. Not many cameras can do this. High frame rate. Another characteristic that we've recently introduced with RX is included, of course, with RX100 Mark V. We can shoot at 240, 480, and 960 frames per second to achieve slow motion as much as 40 times when played back at 24p, and all of the processing can take place in the camera. But with the addition of the front-end LSI, we can increase the high frame rate recording capability to double that of what we've been able to realize with RX10 and RX100 Mark IV. So now you can capture up to 8 seconds of 40 times slow motion, and if you do the math, that's, well, 320 seconds of slow motion playback. Pretty amazing in terms of the high frame rate slow motion capabilities built in to RX100 Mark V. On top of that, we could talk endlessly about some of the other characteristics in the camera. The anti-distortion shutter that Hamaguchi-san mentioned, which can capture at the equivalent of a 32,000th of a second to essentially eliminate rolling shutter characteristics for still images, and also fights rolling shutter in video as well. The unique pop-up eye-level viewfinder characteristic of RX100 is included with Carl Zeiss optics in front of the 2.4 million dot OLED. Silent shutter, of course, is realized with our RX cameras due to the fact that they utilize a leaf shutter in the lens instead of a focal plane shutter, and that silent shutter can be used at 24 frames per second. Pretty cool. IAF, which has become very well regarded in many of our cameras, is included. The fully articulated LCD, which can fold up and fold down, and also fold all the way up for the all-important selfies. We've even enhanced the connectivity in RX100 Mark V. Of course, not only Wi-Fi and NFC, but we now also can read QR codes with this camera to enhance the connectivity of cameras that, of smartphones that don't have NFC. So all of these are additions, and again, key characteristics of RX100 Mark V. On top of that, I'm going to stay away from this microphone. We've also created a new underwater housing to leverage, sorry Terry, to leverage the compact dimensions of RX100. Compatible with all of our RX100 series cameras, URX100 is a new underwater case, okay? Suitable for depths up to 40 meters, superb picture quality, and because we've designed it, it has unique control over the interface of the camera. Even the rotating programmable lens ring, for instance, can be adjusted by the underwater housing. And as I mentioned, this is compatible with all of our RX100 series models. Think of it, an underwater case for a camera of this capability, usable up to 40 meters in depth. That's really about the same size as a good size SLR. A unique advantage, again, of RX100. RX100 Mark V will come to market before the end of this calendar year. You can see in this slide the price positioning in US, Canada, and Europe, and the timing, October and November timing, at $1,000 in the US, $1,250 in Canada, and 1,200 euros in Europe. And you can also see the underwater housing will be coming in November at $330, $450, and $360. So thank you very much for listening to what we've had to say about RX100 Mark V. We hope you enjoy the camera, and we'll have a chance later on for you to take a look and use it. But now I'd like to hand it over to my good friend Kenji Tanaka, who's going to tell you about Alpha. Tanaka-san. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. Thank you for coming here today. My name is Kenji Tanaka. I'm in charge of the interchangeable lens camera IOC business. Today, I'd like to introduce the camera here. It brings you the whole new imaging experience. First of all, I'd like to touch upon the IOC industry situation briefly. The environment of IOC industry is becoming more challenging today. The left side chart shows the industry sales in amount for body and lace in downtrend year by year. On the other hand, the right side chart shows Sony is growing sales despite the industry's severe situation. There are two key drivers in this business growth of Sony. The Alpha 7 series, full-frame E-mount cameras, and Alpha 6000 series, APS-C E-mount series. The Alpha 6000 first launched in 2014 has becoming the best-selling camera that Sony has ever introduced to the market. The Alpha 6300 has established high evaluation and reputation among professionals. The pie chart on the right-hand side shows the occupational profiles of Alpha 6300 customers. In North America and Europe, nearly 1/4 of the customers are professional photographers and videographers. Based on the feedbacks from professional photographers and voices of enthusiasts, we have further accelerated our development in order to deliver the new imaging experience that has never existed before. And today, I am pleased to announce the addition of a new model to our Alpha 6000 family, a new flagship APS-C camera of Sony. Today, I have prepared a video that tells the concept of this model. So please take a look. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let me introduce the Alpha 6500. The Alpha 6500 is developed by incorporating the customer's voice, such as advanced image quality, a huge buffer for continuous shooting, in-camera image stabilization, and touchscreen, all into a palm-sized camera body. The advanced features of the Alpha 6500 delivers photographers and videographers the maximized shooting opportunity from low light to the highlight, from fast shutter speed to low shutter speed for stills and movies. For more details of Alpha 6500, I would like to pass on to Neil Manowitz, Vice President of Digital Imaging, Consumer Sales and Marketing of Sony. So thank you for your pay attention.
So I'm so excited to be able to share with you more about the 6500. And first, as Kenji-san mentioned, when we designed the 6500, we really started with this A6000 and the 6300, but built really upon that to develop the 6500 as our new flagship APS-C camera. So to be clear, the A6000 and 6300 continue in the line, and now we've added the 6500. And it really came from listening to you, listening to customers. How could we improve? How could we continue to evolve the camera? And if I sum it up, it's really about speed. And if we think about it, first, we started with the world's fastest autofocus system, highest number of autofocus points, and then adding in, while we have really high speed, 11 frames per second shooting, adding in 200 images to be captured in that time, over 20 seconds. And also, for the first time ever in an APS-C interchangeable lens camera, we've added 5-axis image stabilization. Also, we've taken that 24 megapixel CMOS sensor and added in our brand new front-end LSI to deliver even better image quality. And of course, last but not least, amazing, amazing 4K video quality. So let's dig in a little deeper. Autofocus. So the A6500 leverages that A6300 autofocus system, speed of 5/100ths of a second, world's highest number of phase detection autofocus points, 425 points, and that high density tracking autofocus technology that significantly improves subject detection and the tracking performance. Then, when we look at it about how do we make sure we capture that shot, so we have the live view framing, which combines the immediacy of an optical viewfinder and all of the great benefits that you get when using an electronic viewfinder, also at 8 frames per second. And then what's completely new here on the 6500 is we've equipped a really large buffer to enhance that speed. So you can shoot 11 frames per second for over 20 seconds, over 200 frames to be captured to never miss that moment. And it'll keep going on and on. And then, of course, the speed doesn't come from the camera alone. It really comes from the interaction between the camera and the user. And on the A6500, what we've introduced is touchscreen focus using the LCD screen. Simply touch where you want to focus on the LCD screen. Or if you're using the electronic viewfinder, the LCD screen acts as a touchpad, so you can touch and drag where you want to focus without ever taking your eye off the electronic viewfinder. And of course, the large buffer that we have in the camera also contributes to really quick playback, so you can review that image as quickly as you shot it. And we've made the camera even more customizable with no less than 10 customizable buttons. And now, another world's first, 5-axis stabilization. We've put that into an APS-C camera. And we did it without increasing the body size at all. So now you can stabilize lenses that have never been stabilized before. Anything that can mount to this camera can be stabilized, even lenses developed well before the invention of image stabilization itself. And for Sony lenses, with built-in stabilization, you can add compensation in 3 more axes. So roll compensation is particularly valuable in the video application, and it's only possible when you put it into the body. Of course, image quality. We've taken the 24 megapixel sensor that is in the A6300, and thanks to that sensor, has amazing sensitivity, ability to pick up all the way up to ISO 51200. And now, using the Beyond's X and the front-end LSI in combination actually provides image quality that exceeds that of an A6300. And then thinking about 4K video. The 6300 had amazing video capabilities, and the 6500 builds on top of that. With the Touch AF, now it allows your fingertip to pull focus directly. Additionally, it has selectable AF drive speed, 5-axis stabilization, a whole litany of new features added on for the videographer. Perfect combination. And this camera will be available this year. You can see on the slide right here, available in November in the US and Canada, and in December in Europe. So as Mike mentioned, back in April, there was an earthquake in our Kumamoto factory, and that impacted us. It impacted the Sony camera business. It impacted the entire industry as a whole. But I'm really happy to share with you, we're back. We're back for Sony's camera business, we're back for the industry, and more important, we're back for you. So that's a really big, big event for us. And I want to share with you a photo that I just love. This right here, here's a photo of our factory recently. You can see all of the employees there that were committed. These employees really work day and night to make the factory get back up to speed. And it's because of their great effort that we're able to bring the innovations here today. So I definitely want to send a round of applause to them. That's very, very exciting for us. And of course, amazing product innovations are important. But it also is about how do we work with community, how do we build the market? And that's equally important for us. And here's just a few examples of the things that we're doing on our side, really to give back and give a spotlight to the community. First is alphauniverse.com. This is where a community can come together and learn all things about alpha. Also, it's where the streaming happens to be here so that everybody around the world can share in what we're providing to you. A second new innovation for us is the Alpha Imaging Collective. Provides a platform to showcase many of the incredible talented photographers and videographers that are in the community today. Please take a look at all the great work that's happening on Instagram. And of course, there's no better example of what we're doing here than the Artisans of Imagery. Now in its 8th year of the program, it's just been an amazing, amazing group of photographers. And a perfect example of that partnership is an artisan that's here today, Patrick Murphy-Racy. He's actually been using the 6500 over the past several weeks, and he's here to share with you his perspective on what the camera means to him, and also share some of the great photos that he's been able to capture. So I'm very pleased to share Patrick.
Thanks, Neil. Good man. All right, so I am the guy that you all hate right now. I'm sorry about that. I got a call about 3 weeks ago, and they said, hey, we're going to send you a lead-lined box with a couple cameras in it, and you can't tell anybody, and you got to sign away your life and all that stuff, and it's pretty exciting. So who am I? This is kind of like my CV, if you will. I've spent the last 30 years on my knees getting grass stains on my jeans, working mostly American football and shooting basketball out of athlete portraits. I kind of wanted to, whoops, I didn't want to go that fast. But there's one piece of equipment that I no longer have to take on with me on every assignment that I do. I'm very excited to tell you that I no longer take a leave with me when I go to work. Because when you carry these around all day instead of this big honking thing that weighs a ton, and it's just much easier on my body, and it keeps me creative longer. It keeps me sort of in the zone longer. And it's you know, going to extend my career, I think. I want to talk to you a couple things about the autofocus. Now, I know many of you out there that might be viewing this video right now or later, you might never have tried to look through a Sony camera. To pick up an A6300 or an A6500 set to wide area autofocus is an astounding thing for someone even like me that's been shooting for 30 years professionally. And you know, I call it the dancing green boxes. but it's really amazing to see how the camera sort of tracks and what it's capable of doing. And it's capable of making pictures like this in full automatic mode. It's a very, very nice thing to have a whole series of weapons at my disposal for all these various autofocus modes that are available to me, not just as a sports photographer, but as a portrait photographer. I shoot weddings, all kinds of things. And it's really cool to have all these weapons to choose from. As an example, this is shot with center AF. A lot of times when you're looking for, in football, you're trying to find a quarterback, and of course, they drop back in the pocket and everybody stands up and starts hitting each other, right? And it's really hard to keep tracking. And so center AF and some of the other autofocus modes allow me to kind of continue with, even in a very complicated, fast-moving situation, to track only the player I want, and which is very, very nice. You know, a soccer picture like this is easy to get with a 7200. This is shot with a 500 millimeter Sony lens on a crop body. I'll let you do the math. It's about 800 millimeters. So to be able to have the confidence in the equipment to shoot this tight and get the ball coming off the leg consistently is an amazing thing for a tiny little box like this. The EVF speed also is a huge part of how this works. When you have an EVF, instead of looking through the lens in an SLR, this extreme speed that Sony is allowing in the A6300 and the A6500, it's astounding. The image buffer, as you've already heard, is very impressive. But it's not just about shooting lots of frames in a row. It's also about lifting off and then reacquiring again and again and again. And being able to then hit the play button and actually look at what you just shot right now, almost in real time. So this is a big, big change from the A6300. This buffer is awesome. And when you combine the buffer with all these different autofocus modes, the small size packages, small format, it is really a joy to use an A6500 on the field. Henri Cartier-Bresson is a very, very famous photographer, and he was once asked in an interview that I saw in college many years ago, and the interviewer asked him, "Can you explain what the moment is to you?" And he said, in this French accent, "Yes, yes, yes," right? And this A6500 camera is all about the moment. It's a yes, yes, yes camera. It gives you such confidence, whether you're a soccer mom shooting your kid out on the field, or you're a professional, you know, working for a major magazine or on assignment for Getty or whatever. Capturing the moment is essential for any meaningful sports photography coverage. I use as an example in this picture from karate. This was shot with another one of the weapons that are available to me. This is shot with expanded flexible spot lock. And it's sort of like a George Jetson setting in a lot of ways, because what you do is you tell the camera what person you want to track, and then they start fighting, and even if they turn around in circles, the camera keeps that one person sharp. So this is shot with an 85-1.4 G Master lens while they're fighting at extremely fast motion, and I don't have to worry about who's in focus. I can just compose and follow the action and shoot at will, which is a very, very nice thing to be able to do. Another thing, yeah, she took that one on the chin, didn't she? You know, it's kind of a funny picture, but it illustrates just how good, like when you're shooting tennis, say, and you want to get the ball on the strings, that's pretty easy. This is so fast, and to be able to capture consistently, time and time again, that peak moment of sport is awesome. And it allows me to use this camera and save so much weight and bulk. It's awesome. It's also interesting, though, this picture is shot right around 10,000 ISO. You know, when they tell you in the previous slides that the image quality has been increased by this Bion's X processor, they're not kidding. It's a very, very different animal. I don't have to use as much, you know, pulling noise out and stuff. It's much easier for me to work. And the last thing is there's a lot of weapons on the auto white balance side of things as well. And a lot of people, even Sony shooters, they don't find all the ones that are way down below if you keep clicking down. There's this one that has this fish on it. I think it's supposed to be an underwater setting. And there's a particular type of fluorescent light that happened to be in this karate tournament that's horrible. You can't color correct it. It's really tough. And this fish setting, as I like to call it, is perfect. And it gives you clean whites, and you just shoot. And it just, you know, Sony, again and again, it's not that they're like listening to us and giving us what we asked for, because we certainly get that as photographers. But they're giving us things we haven't even thought to ask for, like 5-axis in a camera that's that size. I mean, these guys put 4 cars in a 2-car garage. I'm sorry, but that's the reality for me as a shooter. So this is I didn't think Japan was expecting me to go to a drag race in East Tennessee, but that's where I took the camera one night. And this is a 5-second car. It runs 1/8 of a mile in 5 seconds. And you better have a camera that can shoot, that can acquire quickly, that can shoot exactly when you want it to, because the thing is gone otherwise. You know, it's easy to go to an NFL game or a big-time college game, D1 game, and make really nice pictures. It is a different thing entirely to go to Friday Night Lights. This high school game is at a public high school in Knoxville where I live, and it's dark. There's only 4 light standards, and there's not a whole lot of lights up there, and some of them are out, okay? And to be able to go and shoot a 300-2.8 with the crop sensor, some 450 millimeter 2.8 for this picture, I mean, the picture speaks for itself. Very low noise. You know, the reality for most of us sports photographers, the people that make a living on the sidelines and shoot this all the time, we don't really care about megapixels. We care about low light. Low light is king. And to have a tiny little package where you don't have to decide, do I want a big file or do I want low light? To get both in one camera that's this size, it's amazing. In the PGA and the LPGA and the NCAA rules, there's all kinds of rules regarding when a photographer can make a picture on the golf course during a tournament. And it's very, very specific that you cannot shoot the swing. You cannot make an image before the ball head, or the ball is struck by the club head. Well, when they wrote these rules, they didn't have Sony silent cameras. Cameras with no shutters. I mean, you can literally shoot, I've done it with RX100V, I've done it with the A6500 now. It's amazing. You can shoot the entire swing if you want to. And it's very nice to be able to cover golf the whole game instead of just part of the game. If you're out there and you're shooting golf and you don't own an A6500 in the next couple of weeks, you're crazy, because you're just giving up half the pictures you could possibly make. Again, on the golf thing, it's so cool to be out on the green in the middle of nowhere. This is a tournament that was held out in the countryside, but there was cell service. And so, you know, it would have been possible for me, had I not signed the NDA and given up my firstborn child, I could have just pushed this picture out right from, you know, the green, no problem. So silent shutter, the addition of the 5-axis stabilization with the lenses, it just gives you such flexibility. And flexibility is essential for any sports photographer. My Instagram feed is probably the most important marketing that I do as a photographer. You know, back in the 90s and the 80s, we did all these promo pieces and sent them around and drag portfolios. That's all gone now. It's all over. Your Instagram feed is everything. And people love to, you know, shoot their breakfast, lunch, dinner, put it on there. Professional photographers that want to stay current and stay alive, we have to use Instagram in a way that puts our awesome imagery online for people to really understand why they would hire me instead of just have Uncle Joe take the pictures at your kid's wedding, right? So being able to push pictures out at a big game, right there on the field, it's everything. Same, you know, at a wedding or whatever. Once again, another image that's very tough. This is a mistake. These two players are not supposed to be going for the same ball. And in sports photography, mistakes make great pictures. And because I had the A6500 and the 8514 G Master, you know, I was able to not just get the moment I want, but knock out the background, so it's not so complicated. You know, in summation, it's almost like they took the A6300 and they sent it to the gym, you know? They made it do 2-a-days for months at a time. They fed it a bunch of corn-fed beef. And it came out the other end really a beast. The camera is a beast. It's so deceiving because it looks so small and tiny and innocent, but what's in there is a fire-breathing machine that's ready to attack whatever sporting event or assignment you might have as a pro or amateur photographer. And that's kind of all I've got, and I think I'm going to turn it back over to Mike, and he's going to land this plane for us.
Thank you, Patrick. That work you do is just breathtaking. And by the way, you can forward those photos now to the moms, the families, the athletes, yeah, no problem. So hopefully this morning, we've shown you some new groundbreaking innovation through these great cameras. And if nothing else, that should increase your confidence in Sony's innovation, which is thriving. And not only in imaging, but across all of Sony. So I commit to you and I promise to you that we'll continue to strive to provide condo in our products, condo in our entertainment, and condo in all of our employees. And at this point, I'm sure you all want to get up from your chairs and go and try out these great products in a demonstration, experiential way. So we've set up some great areas right outside this room. As you exit the room, go to your left, and there's some great demonstration areas where you can really experience these great cameras for yourself. Sorry for all of you that are on streaming, but they'll be coming to you soon. So with that, I remind you, the Sony Square showroom on the first floor is now open to the public, and you should all visit. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you soon.